welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about something we're super excited about. This clutch of eggs right here hatched almost 6 months ago, and it was maybe a week or two ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, where two of the guys actually hatched. They're doing great right now. Two of the guys hatched, and we had two more eggs is what we were telling you, but come check this out, guys. These eggs were the same size about 3 days ago, and you can see right there, that little baby's starting to hatch. He's still in there. And if you can see, look closely, that egg is about half the size of that egg now. And about 3 days ago, they were the same size. So this tells me that that egg is not going to hatch for at least a few more days. Hopefully it hatches real soon, but that's the last egg, and I know it's going to hatch. That's why I'm saying it's super important. If you guys have your eggs and they go past the date that are on the lid or the date that you're thinking that they're going to lay, by the lid, I meant I sell eggs and I guarantee they're hatched. If they don't hatch by the date on the lid, I send them a new one. If they mold over, whatever happens, I send them a new one. But let me put this back real quick. That's why I'm saying it's super important to always keep your eggs. If they are white, they are going to hatch. Sometimes it just takes a long time. Sometimes they'll take 6 months. Sometimes they'll be a little sooner than 6 months. Sometimes they'll take a year or longer. You never know how long it's going to take, but if they are white and they don't have any mold on it, you should always keep them. Now I'm going to show you guys how to set up properly a baby's enclosure. So at first, what you're going to want to go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get this stick. It's not very thick. You can see it's a little bit smaller than my pinky. So what you're going to want to do with this stick is make basking branches. So let me go grab the cages really fast. These are the cages I like to use for babies. I like to use them because they're small and it fits perfectly for the babies. You can use bigger cages. I just don't like to take a chance of them falling, although most of the time they should be fine. Chameleons are built to fall. That's actually their defense in the wild. If they feel too threatened, they'll jump off the tree all the way to the ground. And what they do, they puff their bodies up kind of like an airbag, so when they hit the ground, it takes a lot less damage, but it can still bruise their underbody, bruise their ribs. And I just don't want to take a chance of any of that, especially with the little babies. So I like to get them little small cages. So you are going to want to take this stick and you're going to want to measure it out just a little bit smaller than the entire length of the cage. So about right there, I would draw a line and then I would saw it like I'm about to do now. So I use this as a trash can, and it's what I use to cut it. My electric saw broke and gotta resort to this. So first we're gonna do is measure this stick a little bit smaller than the width of the cage, and you want it a little bit smaller to make sure that it fits in there. Now what you're gonna do, you're gonna put it about like that. You want to hold it with a nice grip, and then you're going to want to start sawing. So it's super important, if you're going to use a hand saw, you have to go really slow and not put that much pressure. So I didn't do that, and you can see we're going to have to cut off right here just a little bit more. This side will be fine, but this side has little sharp objects, and we're going to have to cut that off. So to prevent that with a hand saw, you're just going to have to go really slow. Before we go any further, we're going to want to make sure this fits in there. So you're going to want to open your cage, slide it on in, and it doesn't. So we need to cut that even more. Got ourselves a nice straight edge. Now we're going to hope this fits in there. And look at that, it fits. So it's not perfect, but I'm going to show you what to do now. So I'm going to go ahead and take everything out of this cage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put two basking branches. I'm going to put one up high, and then I'm going to put one down low, probably about right here. So the way to make sure they stay in, you're going to need some screws, and not just any kind of screws. You need to choose the correct style, and with these screws, you can see them, they're only about 1/2 inch, and they have a flat top. So when you screw them in all the way, it's gonna be almost flush with the outside. Now, what I do, you wanna go ahead and get your wooden stick. You wanna stick it on in there. And once it's in there, you want to drill holes on the sides where the wood's gonna be. That way it is super easy. So when you take the wood, you can stick it right on the holes, just like so. Then you take your screw very, very gently. You don't want it tight. You just want the screw in there and it almost flush with this. If you go any tighter than that, you're gonna split the little wood. You wanna stick it in there like that. Just like that. And you can see there's a small gap in there, but that is sitting as flush as I'm gonna get it. We do it to the other side. Funny, on this side, it started coming out. So now, what I'm gonna have to do is hold the stick while I drill this in. I really hope this wood doesn't break on my hand. I'm gonna hold it on this side. Heard the wood crack. And that is how you do it. Just like that, guys. Go ahead and add another one down here, like so. Another thing you guys can do to prevent the wood from cracking, you're gonna want to drill 30 seconds. Now, it's only 1/2 inch screw, so you're only gonna want to go about 1/2 inch in. Super careful so I don't poke myself. Okay, so we got about 1/2 inch in on that one, so now we're gonna go up a drill size to 7/64. And same thing, you're gonna take it, place it right on that hole. Got a good 1/2 inch in there. Now, we're gonna take it all the way up to 1/8. Feel when you get to the bigger ones, when you hit the end, because it's super easy to go through that hole, and then once you hit the end, it's almost like hitting a wall. Now we're gonna do one last hole, and it's a 9/64. So we're gonna take that, and there you have it. Now the screw should be able to go in there nice and smoothly, and it should not crack the wood at all. We had to take a break for a second. The drill died. We had to go charge it. We are doing it to the other side, drilling holes in the other side now. That we have the holes drilled in there and the screw will fit in there nicely, you're going to want to take it, stick it in there, and this one is just a tad bit too short, as you can see. So what I'm going to do, this one's going to be a little bit lower. It's going to be about right there. I am going to drill that hole right there. We'll drill another one right there. Now you have your 2 holes drilled, and what you're gonna want to do, you're gonna want to take the drill out. You're gonna want to go ahead and put your stick right in there and make sure it is lined up with the hole. And there you go. Now it can be nice and flush. And we're going to do that with the other side as well. And that prevents any wood from splitting. And there you have it. There is 2 beautiful basking branches for that chameleon. Then, let's take a little pothos plant, stick it right in there like so. And now they can bask, they can go in their pothos. And this one's still a small pothos plant, but it gives them the option to go inside the plant, go on that. And I always put a little popsicle stick in there, just in case they fall off, they'll be able to get right back up, no problem. And that's basically all you gotta do to set up an enclosure for a hatchling chameleon. And another thing you're gonna wanna do, you're going to wanna get fruit flies. These are flightless fruit flies, and what you're going to want to do is cultivate fruit flies. How to cultivate fruit flies, make sure to go back into my YouTube. I posted a video on it about 2 weeks ago, so just scroll back a little bit and you can find a video on how to cultivate fruit flies. Okay guys, there's not much to it. As you can see, there is a little golden pothos plant. There's a stick right there in case he falls down. There's really no way for him to get back on top of that pothos plant and if this stick were not there. So it's important, if you're going to have a cage like this, especially with the baby, you need to have a climbing stick to be able to get back up to the plant or back to one of these. We'll go ahead and put this back. So that's it guys, that is how you properly build a hatchling chameleon enclosure. I recommend those small enclosures for the hatchlings just to be safe in case they do fall. You don't want to get bruised up or anything like that. It's just so much safer to have smaller enclosures like that. You want 2 basking branches because they're so small. You want one up high close to the UVB, and you want one down low to give them a little bit away from the UVB and less UVB. And then you want the plants so they can go under the plants and hide from the sun if they want to. It's up to them really. They are doing whatever they want to do. So as soon as that guy hatches, we'll show you in the next video. He might hatch tomorrow, maybe the next day at the latest. So if he hatches tomorrow or the next day, whenever he hatches, we'll show you guys exactly how we're going to put him in his new enclosure with those 2 basking branches and the pothos. It's probably not going to be that same enclosure. It's going to be a different one with a little bit bigger pothos, just so he has more things to climb on. Because it's really important they climb so they can build that muscle, especially when they're young. And you want to feed them a lot when they're young. You want to feed them fruit flies, bean beetles. You want to give them all sorts of variety of things. And just because the fruit flies are small does not mean you don't have to dust them with calcium. You need to be dusting your fruit flies every single time you feed them with calcium without D3. On the 1st and the 15th, you want to dust them calcium with D3. For this one guys, I really hope you learned something here. If you liked today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, before we go, make sure you click that bell and turn on post notifications so you get notified every time you post so you'll never miss out on what we're doing and any tips that we can help you help your chameleon thrive. That's going to be it for this one, guys, and we'll see you next time.